So, X Limited, registered person, a vehicle 60 seating capacity. Purchase for what purpose? Using for the business, pick up and drop the employees in the course of furtherance of their business only. They are providing taxable output supplies. Are they eligible to claim ITC? X Limited can eligible to have the ITC? Quickly, fast, tell me. This question was asked in the exam of final level. One can ask intermediate also. Common. Inter and final is common. ITC is there. Black record is there. Tell me, ITC allowed or not allowed? You have to say ITC well allowed, sir, because which is not 13% seating capacity. More than 13%, which is not covered in black record. What is not covered in the black record allowed ITC if it is using for further supply of taxable nature. So in the given case, the GST paid 14 lakhs, well allowed to claim ITC to X Limited. Further, a particular passenger aircraft, passenger vessel, if you purchase, ITC not allowed. Reliance group of companies, chairperson, let us say Mr. Mukesh Ambani, purchase the chartered flight using for the business purpose. Morning lunch at Mumbai, lunch at Mumbai, dinner in Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and next day breakfast, Kolkata. So you want to go all around India using the charter flight for business purpose. Can he eligible to avail the input tax credit? Reliance Group can avail the input tax credit. ITC not allowed. Similar to that vessel, passenger vessel, ITC not allowed. Upfront not allowed. However, we have exceptions where ITC allowed. If I use for further supply of such vessel or aircraft, ITC allowed. Further supply of what? Taxable nature. Transportation of passengers, which are taxable output supply, ITC allowed. Imparting training on navigating such vessels or imparting training on flying such aircraft for the purpose of this nature, where I am going to pay the GST on output supply of my taxable output supply for that purpose. If I purchase these vehicles, I mean to say this vessel aircraft, eligible to claim ITC, or otherwise the aircraft or vessel meant for transportation of goods, ITC well allowed. ITC well allowed. Further referring here, my dear friends, if these two, aircraft and vessel, taken on lease, renting, hiring, also will not qualify for ITC as such, because these goods, if I purchase, not qualify for ITC. Instead of buying taken on hire basis, ITC on input service not allowed. However, hiring, leasing, renting of aircraft or vessel, ITC is allowed in the following cases. If I use for further supply, that means aircraft and taken on hire basis, and I am providing further transportation of passengers. That means ITC allowed. Further supply or imparting training on navigating such vessel, ITC allowed. For that purpose, or aircraft flying skills training I am giving, for that I purchase aircraft, or I am buying the aircraft, selling the aircraft, where I am liable to pay GST. In that case, ITC well allowed. ITC well allowed. Got the clarity, my dear friends? Further, on the other hand, if I use it for using only for taxable supply of goods, for transportation of goods purpose, I have purchased this, or I taken on lease basis, and transporting the goods. That is for transportation of goods. Means what? Passenger, sorry to say, the air cargo, air freight, air cargo, aircraft, which I purchase. What purpose? For transporting my goods. It is allowed. Instead of buying that particular flight or aircraft, I take on a hire basis. For what purpose? Transporting the goods of mine, for which I take on a hire basis. The air cargo. Air cargo, I take on a hire basis for transporting my goods. Input service is allowed. If I purchase the aircraft for transporting goods, it is allowed. Instead of buying it, I take on a hire basis for transporting my goods. It is allowed. Or otherwise, if it is an obligatory on employer to provide to its employees, then ITC well allowed. Obligatory to provide aircraft or vessel for their employees. What purpose? For example, my factory is in, let us say, Meghalaya hill station factory. Head office Chennai. My employees from Chennai is to go to there, work and will come back. Morning they will go to Meghalaya from Chennai and come back to evening to hometown Chennai. Chennai to Meghalaya, Meghalaya to Chennai. Then the government said, if factories who are own factories in hill stations, they should mandatorily provide aircraft services to their employees for their commutation, transportation is an obligation. Therefore, the employer providing aircraft facility to fly from Chennai head office to factory Meghalaya, from Meghalaya to Chennai. In that case, for that purpose only, that particular aircraft has been purchased. I have not purchased, taken on lease basis. Purchase the ITC is not allowed. Even obligatory for an employer to provide the aircraft services to employees. Therefore, they purchase the aircraft. Not allowed. ITC. It should be taken on hire basis, taken on lease basis, taken on renting basis, which is obligatory for an employer to provide to employee under a statute. Then ITC allowed. Further, my dear friends, I procured. These are the items. Now you tell me, for me, seating capacity not exceed 13 vehicles I purchase, or passenger aircraft I purchase, or the vessel for transport of passengers if I purchase, as such ITC not allowed. You are aware of that. Unless I am further supplying of the same or otherwise further supply of taxable supply or passenger transportation purpose if I purchase, or providing training purpose I purchase, then it is allowed. Except the three, others not allowed. So for me, it is not allowed. For example, I am the Reliance company manufacturing, let us say, color televisions. Reliance company have color television manufacturing unit. For that unit, they purchase these vehicles. ITC allowed? ITC not allowed. Now, in the given case, when I purchase a vehicle, there is a general insurance have to cover. Service of general insurance, service of servicing, service of repairs maintenance for the vehicle, passenger aircraft or the vessel. ITC allowed? ITC not allowed, because these goods if I purchase, I have no benefit of claiming ITC. I purchase it, not claiming ITC on purchases. But I have to pay insurance, general insurance, to cover loss of these particular goods. So I paid general insurance premium with the GST. Not a input service for me to claim ITC. servicing services, GST, not qualify for ITC. Or repairs and maintenance are incurred for this particular motor vehicle, aircraft or vessel, ITC not allowed, and repairs and maintenance what I paid to my supplier of service along with GST, that is not qualify ITC to the recipient. However, we have exception for the above allowed as ITC. When means ITC in respect of such services shall be available where the motor vehicle, vessel, aircraft are used for further purpose specified therein. Meaning what? I purchase the motor vehicle where ITC is allowed for me. Means what? I purchase the motor vehicle seating capacity not exceeding 13, using this for further supply. So I paid the general insurance premium thereon. ITC for me allowed. I purchased this particular aircraft for providing the flying skills training. ITC allowed. On which general insurance services, on which servicing services, on which repairs and maintenance services, GST qualify for ITC is the meaning of it. Further, in the manufacture of such motor vehicle, vessel or aircraft, or in the supply of general insurance services in respect of such motor vehicle, vessel, aircraft insured by him, ITC well allowed. Sir, I am a manufacturer. My name is Tata Motors. I am manufacturing the motor vehicles seating capacity not exceeding 13, including driver. In that case, such vehicle I kept in my godown. I paid the general insurance premium for the vehicle loss of stock. Can I avail the ITC? Yes, because it is not capital goods for me, it is a stock in trade for me. So for manufacture of these items for which he incurred insurance services, servicing services, repairs and maintenance services, well qualify for ITC. At the same time, ITC in the given case not allowed. Why not allowed? I am explaining here. You look here. My name is X Limited, registered person. I purchased these vehicles, this aircraft, this vessel. Manufacture of motor vehicles, vessels, aircraft. If I am a manufacturer of this, for me stock in trade. If so, on that general insurance, on that servicing services, on that repairs and maintenance, well qualified for ITC. X Limited is a manufacturer of these vehicles, aircraft, vessel. Sir, X Limited is manufacturer of color televisions. These goods are purchased. ITC not allowed. In the given case, X Limited is a manufacturer of these items. So incur the services thereon. ITC well allowed. Further, one company called B Limited, insurance company, and there is owner of the vehicle where the owner of the vehicle Y Limited. Y Limited being a registered person, owner of this vehicle, seating capacity not exceeding 13, passenger aircraft, passenger vessel, they purchase. Are they eligible to claim ITC? No, for them no ITC. But they are paying insurance premium to vehicle, aircraft, vessel to A Limited company. A Limited company undergoing for reinsurance of this particular vehicle, aircraft, vessel with B Limited insurance company. In that case, as you are aware of that, the Y Limited cannot avail the ITC on general insurance premium because why not allowed insurance premium as ITC means the insurance premium on which GST on these goods which is not eligible for input tax credit for Y Limited, therefore ITC not allowed. But A Limited is undergoing being insurance company to reinsurance with the B Limited for these goods. In that case, B Limited charging the premium to A Limited, A Limited paying the premium with the GST. Can A Limited being an insurance company avail the ITC? Yes. ITC allowed on reinsurance premium to insurance company. Got the clarity, my dear friends? Any difficulty in the given case? If you have no difficulty, furthermore, moving on this. Health services, food and beverages outdoor catering services, beauty treatment services, health services, cosmetic plastic surgery services, life insurance services, health insurance services. ITC not allowed. ITC not allowed. Exception, meaning what? ITC allowed. Supply of same category of services as composite supply or mixed supply, obligatory for an employer to provide to employee, that case ITC allowed. First, the same category of services means what? Catering. My name is Anna Caterer. I provide the catering services to TCS Limited. TCS Limited not eligible to avail ITC on my output supply of catering. Whatever GST charge, ITC not allowed to TCS Limited. However, Anna Caterer, while providing output service of catering services, taken input services from Amma Caterers. Amma Caterers providing services of catering services to Anna Caterers. Anna Caterers further providing services of catering nature to TCS Limited. So, TCS Limited cannot avail the ITC. Bracket create. Anna Caterers well eligible to avail the ITC on the input services, catering services received from similar line of business from Amma Caterers. ITC is allowed. Further referring to you, my dear friends, what do you mean by composite supply or mixed supply? Sir, my name is Taj Coromandel, 5-star hotel, providing short-term accommodation services per day, per room, 2,000 rupees, which includes the combo breakfast free, pick up and drop also free, pick up and drop of my customers from airport to hotel to airport, or railway station, bus station, whatever may be, pick up and drop services, and short-term accommodation services. 3 services I am providing. One is short-term accommodation, pick up and drop services. Third one is breakfast, catering service, food and beverages providing. 3 services are providing. If 3 are providing, is a composite supply. The principal supply, predominant element is mixed. The predominant element here, composite supply, is short-term accommodation. So, short-term accommodation taxable? Yes. Such a Taj Coromandel received from Anna Caterers catering, namely food and beverages, with the GST, can avail the ITC? Yes. That is what this composite supply. Or a mixed supply where the highest rate of GST applied, in that case, the ITC is allowed on these ingredients. If it is the element of mixed supply, and mixed supply, the highest rate is going to pay the GST, ITC well allowed. Sir, is it obligatory for an employer to provide to employees, sir? Is it so? Health services or food and beverage you take. For example, I am running a factory. Under the Factories Act, providing the food and beverages to my employees mandatory under the Factories Act. Otherwise, they fine. In that case, the employer providing catering services, food and beverage services in the factory to their employees. In that case, obligation to provide by an employer to employee arises. If so, the food and beverages, what Mr. Factory owner received from a outdoor catering service provider, well eligible to avail the ITC. That means exceptions are as follows. If it is similar line of business, ITC allowed. If it is composite supply, element of composite supply, mixed supply, output supply is taxable, then ITC allowed. Or it is to provide this to their employees, obligatory for an employer to provide to an employee, then ITC is allowed. Further, my dear friends, membership of a club, health and fitness services, leave or home travel services provided to employees by the employer, ITC as such not allowed. However, if it is obligatory for an employer to provide the same to the employees, ITC well allowed. Further, now referring to you, works contract input service. works contract as per section 2 subsection 119 of the CGST Act means a contract for building, construction, fabrication, completion, erection, installation, fitting out, improvement, modification, repair, maintenance, renovation, alteration, or commissioning of an immovable property. Relevant here is immovable property. In relation to immovable property, wherein transfer of property in goods is involved in the execution of such contract. That means to say that the land value not included. If so, the material and labor goes hand in hand in relation to immovable property is called as works contract. If so, ITC allowed, ITC in the given case not allowed unless the works contract what you are using for your plant and machinery. For plant and machinery, works contract input service ITC allowed. What do you mean by plant and machinery? The expression plant and machinery means apparatus, equipment and machinery fixed to earth by foundation or structural support that are used for making outward supply of goods or services or both, and includes such foundation and structural support but excludes land and building or any other civil structure, telecommunication towers and pipelines laid down outside the factory premises. These three are not plant and machinery. If so, if I use the works contract input service for land, building or any other civil structure, telecommunication tower installation purpose or pipelines laid down outside the factory premises, if I receive the input services of works contract nature, ITC is not allowed. However, works contract input service qualify for ITC if it is other than these three. If it is a plant and machinery, in that case, ITC well allowed. Sir, how to understand, sir? I will explain to you with the help of just visualization. Look and understand. Look here. I am Mr. A, MD of A Limited. I am the factory owner constructing a factory building, a civil structure, which is not a plant and machinery. I received works contract service from B Limited. Am I eligible to claim ITC? Not plant and machinery. Then ITC is a block credit as per section 17 subsection 5 class C. A Limited being a manufacturer is not eligible to avail GST on works contract service as ITC. On the other hand, if works contractor B Limited procured goods, namely cement, sand, bricks, iron, steel and all by paying the GST and providing output supply of taxable supply by works contractor B. For works contractor B, these are input service, input goods qualify for ITC? Yes. For B Limited, ITC allowed. GST paid on cement, steel and iron is allowed as ITC to B Limited. Output supply of B Limited, namely works contract nature of supply of service, not qualify for ITC to A Limited because A Limited is using it for construction of an immovable property, which is not a plant and machinery. Further, A Limited factory building owner constructing the factory building, which is not a plant and machinery, and received from works contractor B Limited sum of works contract service. ITC allowed to A Limited? No, as you understood. Now, B Limited received works contract services by subcontracting to C Limited. C Limited providing works contract to B Limited. Ultimately, B Limited providing services to A Limited. In that case, B Limited seeks your advice. Can avail input tax credit which I received works contract from C Limited. Why not? You are receiving similar line of business and moreover, subcontractor of works contract provide the works contract services to a works contractor. Works contractor while paying the GST can avail ITC? Yes. B Limited is being a main contractor receives the works contract service from subcontractor by paying the GST which is allowed as ITC to the main contractor, namely to B Limited. ITC allowed. So simply I write here I will say that ITC allowed. Here ITC not allowed. As simple as this. Further, sir, I want to construct this foundation for installation of my plant and machinery. Therefore, I entertained from somebody else to construct this X Limited received works contract services of construction of this foundation structure by paying GST of 36,000. What for? For installation of plant and machinery. If so, ITC is allowed on foundation structure which I received from works contractor. Yes, ITC well allowed on that works contract because the works contract supply is in relation to plant and machinery purpose I received, which is not a civil structure, which is not telecommunication tower, which is not the pipeline laying the outside factory premises. Therefore, ITC well allowed. Further, my dear friends, A Limited, being a factory building owner, while constructing the factory, which is not a plant machinery for them, received directly input goods. They purchase the cement, they purchase the steel, and they receive only labor contract. In that case, these are allowed ITC. Section 17, section 5, class D very clearly says that here, Mr. A Limited, even you purchase your own source, these goods, which is in relation to civil structure, which is not a plant and machinery, therefore ITC not allowed. A Limited, being a manufacturer, is not eligible to avail the input tax credit on goods or services received for construction of an immovable property on his own account, including when such goods or services or both are used in the course or furtherance of business. Was contract not allowed, or by own source they purchase to avoid the was contract, also be ITC not allowed because it is not a plant and machinery for them. Further, my dear friends, I am a trader buying the goods, selling the goods. I am a trader buying the goods, selling the goods. I opted the composition scheme. When I am going to pay the GST, CGST 0.5%, SGST 0.5% on taxable output supply, I am eligible to composition scheme because my aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year not exceed 1.5 crore, or for few states like Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, like that for few 8 states not exceeded 75 lakhs. In that case, I opted the composition scheme. I purchased the goods by payment of the GST normal rate, 18%, 18,000 on 1 lakh. Can avail the ITC? For a composition scheme taxpayer, ITC not allowed. This point I already elaborated in my first class where I referred the composition scheme part 1, part 2 also be uploaded in our website of Rafi Sir IDT Guru YouTube channel. There you are able to come across. So a person who opted the composition scheme not eligible for claiming the input tax credit. Similar to this, bringing to a notice, non-resident taxable person who came from outside India to India, where he came to India, also import the goods by payment of IGST to Department of Customs 12,000. He import the goods. Now he providing output supply of goods for which he want inward supply of goods locally in India purchase 1 lakh, CGST, GST 9%, he paid and received the goods. Can non-resident taxable person is eligible for composition scheme? No. Is he eligible for input tax credit? Also be no blocked credit for him, man. It is blocked credit. However, for a non-resident taxable person, the GST paid, namely IGST paid, On import of goods alone ITC is allowed. Locally they purchase these goods, no ITC. Local input services, no ITC. So outward supply 1,50,000 and they are liable to pay GST on their output supply. Are they eligible to ITC? They are eligible to claim ITC only on import of goods IGST paid, ITC allowed. Otherwise, ITC not allowed on inward supplies to a non-resident taxable person. Further, my dear friends, goods or services or both are used for personal consumption. I purchased the paint, being a rich person, used the paint for my business purpose in my business premises to paint my business premises, ITC well allowed. If I use the paint for painting my bedroom, which is my personal purposes, ITC not allowed. Further, my dear friends, further referring from here, sir, I purchased the raw material, I produce finished goods in my factory, beautiful cars. Before selling it, before supply, these goods, when I stuffed in the godown in the factory premises, got gutted in the fire. All these goods got destroyed, became husk and dust. I have to incur the money to clean that area. In that case, inputs which I use to produce these finished goods, I am eligible to claim ITC. ITC not allowed. Further, if I give this particular uh, goods, what I produce as a free gift, free, or I given as a gift, I am eligible to claim ITC? Not allowed. ITC not allowed. Furthermore, referring to you, my dear friends, ITC not out cases. If you refer here, one important point I am bringing to notice. FA, which is new entry from 1st October 23. Goods or services are both received by a taxable person which are used or intended to be used for activities relating to his obligation under the corporate social responsibility CSR referred to in section 135 of the Companies Act 2013. Also, ITC not allowed on such input services. If I use that to meet my CSR obligation, corporate social responsibility purpose, I will bring to a notice one practical numeric example in this regard. I would like to bring to notice, very important. Here bringing. Now look here. One question I want to bring to notice from our workbook, especially. Here, referring one MCQ, one can expect in the exam also. I think is visible to all of you. X Limited transferred certain assets forming part of business assets. The same was transferred free of cost without any consideration as a part of corporate social responsibility. What shall be the classification of this such supply? X Limited not availed input tax credit on such asset. Input tax credit not availed, and the asset has been transferred freely to meet certain corporate social responsibility. If there is a case, is it supply? ITC they have not availed. If the ITC is not availed, Schedule 1, point number 1, permanent transfer or disposal of business assets on which input tax credit has not been availed is not a supply. If input tax credit has been availed, then is a supply even without consideration. In the given case, they are not availed the input tax credit. Therefore, does not qualify as a supply is the right answer for the given case. Just I brought to your notice relevant to the nature of this nature. Further, I would like to bring one more problem here. I brought to notice one practical thing here. In our material is available. Yes, here. Now look this. I will brief these points. Now here what happened, my dear sir? A corporate company incurred gardening expenditure, housekeeping expenditure to maintain clean and green and maintenance of Swachh Bharat nature of activity. One of the social obligation for the corporate company, then from the corporate company allocated their amount to corporate social responsibility fund. From that they incurred this expenditure, and those supplier of services of gardening maintenance services supplier, housekeeping supplier of services, they charge the GST and the company avail the ITC. Department said you are not eligible to avail the ITC because these input services what you got by incurring amount out of your corporate social responsibility fund. Therefore, ITC not allowed. Department said. Assessee want to claim ITC is allowed. The land today after 1st October 2023 very clear is a block created under section 17 subsection 5 clause FA. Resultantly, the solution, the decision here with effect from 1st October 2023, goods or services are both received by a taxable person which are used or intended to be used for activities relating to his obligation under corporate social responsibility referred to in section 135 of the Companies Act 2013 is blocked credit under section 17 subsection 5 class FA. From the above, it is evident that revenue action is correct to disallow the input tax credit. So department claim is correct. Now please come back. Actually, where we are referring the blocked credit concept. So we covered all the points here. Thereafter, the last point here, class I, section 17, subsection 5, class I. Any tax paid in accordance with the provisions of section fraud means section 74, detention, seizure, section 129, confiscation of the goods, section 130, or conveyance. In that case, if the person on account of fraudulently evade the tax, department catch hold. Detention, seizure of goods taken place to release tax paid. Confiscation of the goods taken place in lieu of confiscation, fine paid. Such a things has been paid under that nature tax amount paid, and that tax cannot be passed as input tax credit to the recipient. With this, I can say that the blocked credit section 17 series is completed, my dear friends. Section 17 series, section 7, 1, 2, section 7, subsection 5 is completed.